Lucky Luciano, the birth of a mafia legend. Salvatore Lucania, later known as Lucky Luciano, was born in 1897 in Sicily, Italy. His family immigrated to New York when he was just a child, settling in the Lower East Side. It was here, among poverty and crime, that Luciano's destiny as one of the most notorious crime bosses in American history began to take shape. 2. Early life in the streets of New York. As a teenager, Luciano quickly learned that survival in New York meant power, money, and connections. He joined local gangs, running small hustles and learning the brutal code of the streets. Unlike others, Luciano had both charisma and intelligence. He knew that brute force could win battles, but strategy could win empires. 3. The rise of a young criminal. In his teenage years, Luciano was already organizing his own small crew. He specialized in extortion and protection rackets. By his early 20s, he had built a reputation for being ruthless but fair. This balance of fear and respect made him stand out from ordinary street thugs. 4. The partnership with Jewish gangsters. Unlike traditional Italian mobsters, who kept their power within their own community, Luciano was different. He believed that crime should be a business, not a matter of ethnicity. He formed powerful alliances with Jewish gangsters like Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel. This vision of cooperation across ethnic lines would later transform organized crime in America. 5. Prohibition and the road to power. When Prohibition began in 1920, America's underworld exploded with opportunity. Luciano saw alcohol as the golden ticket to wealth. He partnered with bootleggers, smugglers, and gangsters, turning illegal liquor into a billion-dollar business. By the mid-1920s, Luciano was a rising star in the New York underworld. 6. Betrayal and the making of Lucky. Luciano's nickname, Lucky, came after a violent ambush in 1929. Rivals kidnapped him, stabbed him multiple times, and left him for dead on a beach. Miraculously, he survived. His face carried scars for the rest of his life, but he wore them like a badge of honor. From that day on, he was known as Lucky Luciano, the man who couldn't be killed. 7. The fall of the old mafia bosses. At the time, New York's Italian underworld was ruled by old-fashioned bosses like Joe the Boss Masseria and Salvatore Maranzano. They clung to Sicilian traditions, refusing to adapt. Luciano saw them as obstacles to progress. With cunning moves, he orchestrated the downfall of both leaders, effectively removing the old guard from power. 8. The creation of the Commission. In 1931, Lucky Luciano reshaped organized crime forever. Instead of one boss controlling all, he created the Commission, a governing body made up of the most powerful mob families in America. This board of directors of crime allowed disputes to be settled without constant bloodshed, and it made the mafia operate like a true business corporation. 9. The height of his power. During the 1930s, Luciano was untouchable. His influence stretched across gambling, prostitution, narcotics, and labor unions. Politicians and police were often in his pocket. He lived lavishly, yet always with caution, knowing that the spotlight could also bring downfall. Many called him the most powerful gangster in American history. 10. Downfall, exile, and legacy. In 1936, prosecutor Thomas E. Dewey finally brought Luciano down on charges of running a massive prostitution ring. Luciano was sentenced to 30 to 50 years in prison. Yet even behind bars, his influence never faded. During World War II, the U.S. government struck a secret deal with him, using his mafia connections to secure New York's docks from enemy sabotage. After the war, Luciano was deported to Italy, where he lived until his death in 1962. Even in exile, he remained a symbol of the mafia's power.